This is the story of Sheila Miller and the Ocala kidnappers. The facts of the case are as follows. Sheila Miller was a 40-year-old woman who lived by herself in her Ocala residence. One day in June of 2006, Miller got into a traffic accident and injured her knee, pelvis, and toe, resulting in her being confined to a wheelchair and moving back in with her parents, James and Diana Miller, at their home in the Villages, which is a community for the retired. When she first arrived to the house, she had to promise both her parents that no negative people will come around the house and she will leave anything negative in the past. This is because Sheila was an alcoholic and had a history of drug abuse. Her parents wanted to make sure that their daughter wasn't going to do anything that would impact her health. On July 21st, 2006, a former drug dealer named Ronaldo McGirth, aka Poonie, who was 18 at the time, called Miller and sympathized with her on her car accident. McGirth told Miller that he wanted to give her a gift and asked for her address. Miller willingly gave him the address. Miller didn't realize that she made a big mistake, a mistake that would prove deadly. McGirth knew that Miller was living with her parents in the Villages, and the people who live in the Villages are for the most part financially well off. After receiving the address, McGirth and two accomplices named Theodore Houston, 19, and Jared Roberts, 22, made their way to the Miller's house in a silver Ford sedan. Once they arrived at the house, the three men, Diana and Sheila, sat down in the living room and had a little discussion on a topic which is unknown, while James went to another part of the house. Shortly after the discussion, Sheila, McGirth, and Houston go into Sheila's room while Roberts stays with Diana. That's when McGirth pointed a .25 ACP pistol at Sheila and Houston put duct tape over her mouth and binded her wrist. Diana entered Sheila's room where McGirth demanded she give him all of her money that she had on her. She agreed to give him all of what she had on her, which was only $70. Angered by the little amount, McGirth shoots Diana in the chest. Then the gang finds James Miller in the bathroom and they take him into Sheila's bedroom. The men take the couple's credit cards and personal ID numbers. McGirth then instructed Diana, who was somehow still conscious, to go onto her computer to purchase cell phones on the internet, with no success. McGirth and Houston take Sheila out of the house, and Roberts puts her in the Miller's minivan. Then McGirth comes back into the house and shoots James and Diana Miller in the back of the head. McGirth hops into the driver's seat of the minivan with Roberts and Sheila Miller, while Houston hops in the silver Ford sedan they came in. He later parked the sedan in a parking lot and joined the others in the minivan. As the gang takes off with Sheila, James Miller was able to get up and dial 911, even with a bullet wound to the head.
911, what is your emergency? My wife was shot. Your wife has been shot? She's been shot.
Meanwhile, the gang took Sheila to an ATM where she withdraws $500 for them. Then they drove to Oaks Mall in Gainesville, where they attempt to withdraw money by using the parents' credit cards, which didn't work. Security cameras showed the gang strolling around the mall after they had attempted to take out money. What the gang didn't know was that police were tracking them. Police got a transaction hit on the cards they used, and they were able to pin the location of where they used them at. Once police got the location, they started searching for a red Chrysler minivan in the Gainesville, Ocala area. This footage you're about to see was filmed on a dashboard camera of a police car right when an officer spotted the minivan. The vehicle pulled over, but then immediately took off and led police on a high-speed chase that went on freeways and backcountry roads at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. Down the road, police set up a trap at a gas station where they popped the car's tires with spike strips. Then an undercover officer used a pit maneuver to spin out the minivan. The minivan flips multiple times, and Houston was ejected and ended up underneath the vehicle. The only reason why he wasn't killed was because the van landed on another vehicle at the parking lot. McGirth and Roberts made a run for it, but were quickly caught and brought back to the scene. Sheila Miller was found strapped in and uninjured from the crash. Officers recovered the .25 at the scene. Sadly, it was used as key evidence in a murder investigation. James Miller survived his gunshot wound, but Diana Miller died at the hospital. In 2008, Theodore Houston was convicted of second-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, and robbery with a firearm, and got 20 years. Jared Robert was convicted of robbery with a firearm, manslaughter, and attempted voluntary manslaughter, and was sentenced to life behind bars. Ronaldo McGirth was convicted of fleeing to elude a law enforcement officer, robbery with a firearm, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm of James Miller, and first-degree murder of Diana Miller, and was sentenced to death in 2008 at the age of 20 years old, making him the youngest to be put on death row in the state of Florida at the time. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know what other events I should cover in the future.